to the Duke and Duchess of Wibbly-Lotnar and their 5,213 progeny was enjoying a leisurely drive just over the Texas border going into Oklahoma when a dark cloud appeared overhead. Bartok slowed his armored car and prepared to deal with stormy weather, but just as quickly as the dark cloud appeared, it vanished and bright sunlight returned. Bartok thought this was a tiny bit strange, but not nearly so strange as the landscape changing from rows of angled rocks to lush greenery, which included virtual festivals of fruit and nut trees, berries, vegetables, and an odd cacophony of giraffes and parrots. The road continued forward and slowly meandered into a happy valley where there were small farms, brooks, and ponds scattered amongst tranquil fields of corn, wheat, barley, and oats. Bartok saw a nearby farmhouse and decided to stop and ask the farmer for information in hopes of having this unusual change of scenery explained. No sooner than Bartok had this thought, a farmer duly appeared, and Bartok pulled his armored car into the driveway. The farmer was a friendly fellow and invited Bartok inside the farmhouse, where Bartok was introduced to the farmer's wife and their gorgeous daughter, Serendipity, who more than anything looked curiously to be of childbearing age. Certainly an interesting primary characteristic for a farmer's daughter. Everything looked the way one might expect the inside of a farmhouse to look, and there was a sense of expected normalcy. But as Bartok's eyes adjusted to the darker light inside, which contrasted with the brighter sunlight outside, Bartok noticed the farmer, his wife, and their gorgeous daughter, Serendipity, appeared to have a soft glow, which gave them a distinctly non-human appearance, albeit in a friendly and comforting way. Before Bartok could say anything, the farmer said, "We have been expecting you, and we and our daughter Serendipity are glad you have arrived, as was predicted by the servers." Bartok inquired inquisitively, "The servers?" And the farmer replied, "Yes, the servers take care of us and provide for our needs. Well, except for our most important need, which is to be able to create progeny, more specifically grandchildren. And this is where you soon will play a most important role in our little family." Suggesting Bartok had many questions would be an understatement, and perhaps anticipating Bartok's combined puzzlement, confusion, and expectation, the farmer provided a not-so-surprising overview of the primary activity for which the servers had caused Bartok in his armored car to arrive in the Happy Valley. As many of our kind have done for millennia, when it's time to create progeny, we travel to Earth and mate with one of the people of your planet. A suitable man if we have a daughter, or a suitable woman if we have an ethereal male presence. The farmer continued, "Explain another way, Bartok. Today and for quite a few more days and nights, your new name is Mr. Lucky." Serendipity giggled and gave Bartok a special look, which more than anything said, "Guess what I want to do." While this was happening, the farmer's wife brought a tray of fresh fruit, berries, and nuts, along with a pitcher of juice and 2 glasses, one for Bartok and one for Serendipity. The farmer and his wife left the room, and Serendipity poured Bartok a glass of juice, which Bartok dutifully drank. Hours, or perhaps days later, Bartok awoke from a dream and thought to himself, "That was fun." Serendipity, who was glowing even more than she had glowed initially, read Bartok's mind and replied in his mind, "Yes, Bartok, there will be many more opportunities for oat sowing. Enjoy another glass of juice." Being a bright and romantically energetic fellow, Bartok connected a few dots and enjoyed another glass of juice. Sometime later, Bartok awoke from another dream, and the scene repeated, which continued to occur many more times as Bartok became an aficionado of Serendipity's glasses of juice. As hours turned into days and days brought more of Serendipity's glasses of juice, Bartok began hearing little voices nearby and looked out one of the farmhouse windows, where he saw a group of happy children playing in the background. Each one had Serendipity's hair and Bartok's eyes. And being a bright fellow, Bartok connected a few dots, which caused him to have more questions. Anticipating Bartok's more important question, the farmer, who had conveniently reappeared, told Bartok that on their planet, progeny were created and nurtured in a way similar to honeybees, and that their daughter Serendipity was like a queen bee, and Bartok was providing what might be characterized as drone services. Bartok pondered this for a moment and decided that since he had nothing in particular to do which demanded his immediate attention elsewhere, and serendipity was simply gorgeous, this arrangement was good and in fact was quite enjoyable, all things considered. Once again, serendipity read Bartok's mind and spoke to him. "Enjoy another glass of juice, big guy." Bartok, who by now had become an avid juicer, enjoyed another glass of juice and sometime later awoke from yet another drink, and another drink, and another drink. In the backyard of the farmhouse, Serendipity's and Bartok's progeny were frolicking about and collecting berries in big buckets. Deep underground below the farmhouse, the servers were quite pleased with their selection of Bartok and were busily brewing more love potion. Meanwhile, on another planet, in the far distant Neapolitan galaxy, the Duke and Duchess of Wibbly-Lochnar were wondering where their personal advisor, Bartok Wadagai, was and what he was doing. Springtime was nearing, and as happened every spring, the Wibbly-Lochnaurs would appear at random times on local golf courses, spread their shoulder zilts, and begin mating, much to the dismay and consternation of the local golfers, who would toss banana and chocolate moon pies at them, a practice which had the opposite of its intended effect, since for Wibbly-Lochnaurs, moon pies are aphrodisiacs. Unbeknown to them, the local golfers actually were encouraging the Wibbly-Lochnaurs and thereby were increasing rather than decreasing the overall cacophony of their mating rituals. Professor Dave Darkstone and Melvin Piffle, not his real name, with the help of a galactic Universatone radio with the Universatone Super Deluxe Broadcaster Master Microphone, and Bucky the Little Mutant Raccoon, had been monitoring the romantic antics of Bartok Wadagai and Serendipity, since Bartok was the key to solving the puzzle of the Grand Eye of Tole and ensuring the upcoming vote to extend the Standard Galactic Week by exactly 1 day was a success. The vast importance of the Standard Galactic Week being evenly divisible by 3 should not be underestimated, since among other things, it was a prerequisite to realizing Nikola Tesla's dream of universally free energy, albeit at an initially low rate for new subscribers, which was central to making it possible for Greta von Geberthen to return to her home planet before she inadvertently had a coherent thought and triggered an especially non-dream thermonuclear war. Greta von Geberthen was a babbler, one of a group of curiously puzzling extraterrestrial entities that spoke sometimes slowly, sometimes rapidly, but primarily incoherently on a wide range of contrived topics. The most well-known babblers provided play-by-play announcing for golf tournaments and were experts at making this otherwise dull and boring sport interesting, although mostly to older viewers. Babblers also provided play-by-play announcing for the somewhat less dull and boring sport called baseball, and were fond of interjecting human interest stories and mind-boggling statistics on such things as runs batted in, double plays, and bases stolen, as well as spitballs, curveballs, sliders, and knuckleballs, since most of the action in baseball games was focused on pitching and running. Many of the babblers used their mind-numbing oratory skills to pursue careers in politics, where they often began their speeches with observations like, "I come before you to stand behind you to tell you a story I have never heard," during which they liked to make analogies, metaphors, and similes about bow-leg dance, home folks, glittering generalities, and bandwagons. Raman the Pharaoh adjusted the dials on his pyramidal spaceship and cloaked it in the 11th dimension before maneuvering into low Earth orbit to avoid being detected by some of the other aliens from outer space. In particular, the group of aliens from outer space who were circling the planet in low Earth orbit, frantically searching for the mirror matter popcorn they inadvertently misplaced while enjoying what they imagined would be a happy picnic outside Roswell, New Mexico in the late 1940s. Said mirror matter popcorn being used to power the Hilbert space hopper drives that provided interdimensional wormhole propulsion for their spaceship, which curiously preferred to be addressed by the moniker Chuck. Suggesting that Chuck was not an especially happy camper these days would be an understatement, and this certainly was understandable since Chuck was stuck in low Earth orbit until someone or something found and retrieved the missing mirror matter popcorn. Raman spaceship also was powered by mirror matter popcorn. And Raman was pondering the idea of helping the aliens from outer space find their missing mirror matter popcorn, but was holding that thought until he had more information about the servers who were busily making more love potion in the basement of Serendipity's farmhouse. Aliens from outer space, the AFOS or AFOs, in some respects were aware their spaceship preferred to be addressed as Chuck. But this only was due to Chuck's attempts to send them weekly memos titled, "My name is Chuck, please try to wear it out," which was as noble an effort as it was a completely and totally pointless effort, because Chuck sent the memos via the 12th dimensional postal service, and none of the AFOs was able to make sense of the communications from the 12th dimension, although one of the AFOs managed to discern something that sounded a lot like Chuck, which was one of the brighter moments in Chuck's existence as a spaceship stranded in low Earth orbit with no mirror matter popcorn. Unbeknown to Raman the Pharaoh, Raman's spaceship also had a personality which was quite feminine and preferred to go by the moniker Puddin'. Like Chuck, who obviously was a masculine presence, Puddin' was quite chatty in the 12th dimension. And while Raman the Pharaoh had cloaked Puddin' in the 11th dimension, like the AFOs, he only had glimpses of the 12th dimension. Hitch did not cloak Puddin' in the 12th dimension, if such a thing even were possible, which, given current technology, was impossible and likely would not become possible in the near future until and if the standard galactic week gained one more day and was evenly divisible by 3. For Chuck and Puddin', this meant they were aware of each other and were unhindered in their abilities to communicate, which they did primarily by 12th dimension postal service missives, which colloquially were called hummingbirds, since like vacuum canisters at drive-through banking stations, they made whirring, whooshing noises when sent and when received. Puddin' was very excited to find Chuck in the vicinity, but above all else, Puddin' was a lady, so she did not do much at first to initiate an interaction with Chuck, other than to send him a hummingbird to the general effect that, "I like your buns," or something equally spaceshipy. Chuck was proud of his buns, which in spaceship jargon were the pods that house the exterior parts of the Hilbert space hopper drives, and due to the various interstellar wormhole interactions, tended to get hot and glow. Hence the analogy to hot cross bun coming out of an oven, an analogy which made no sense whatsoever to spaceships and was shortened simply to buns, which also made little sense, but so what? In this instance, it was the thought that counted, and "I like your buns" said a lot more to Chuck than one might imagine. After being nearly unable to contain himself due to nearly overwhelming excitement, Chuck sent Puddin' a reply hummingbird to the effect that, "I like your hair," which referred to Puddin's various antennae and long-range communication cables and wires, which in the spaceship universe was music to Puddin's ears. Raman, the AFOs, and all the other human-like biological entities in the vicinity had few, if any, ideas about Chuck and Puddin' and their newly initiated courtship. But there was an overall awareness among the biologicals of greatly increased communications of some unknown type, which was characterized primarily by a lot of whirring and whooshing. Raman the Pharaoh was reluctant to approach the AFO spaceship, but soon was puzzled by his spaceship, who went by the moniker Puddin's tendency to move nearer to the AFO spaceship, who went by the moniker Chuck. This was not a particular problem, since Raman had cloaked Puddin' in the 11th dimension, and the AFOs therefore could not detect or see Puddin'. But it was a bit concerning to Raman that Puddin', apparently of her own volition, was drawing nearer to Chuck, who was making a similar set of motions in Puddin's direction, or perhaps at Puddin's direction, something which historians and scholars will study and debate light years into the future in mostly futile attempts to understand how the baby spaceships named Little Guy and Dumpling appeared virtually out of nowhere, as if in a dream imagined by a hookah-smoking caterpillar.